Okay, so now that we have constructed our armature here, what we're going to do is we're going to add the skin to this, or more like the muscles to it. So if this is the skeleton, this is going to be the muscles. Now this is salt dough. This is kind of like Play-Doh, only I make it here using flour, salt, and water, and I knead it all together. You're going to get a chunk, and you're going to start to flatten it between your hands. You want to flatten it about as flat as a pancake, or a really skinny pancake. And then you just wrap it around the body of your animal. Now it's important that it touches, because see, if it doesn't touch it, it just falls apart. It falls off the animal. So you have to have the dough touch itself. That's how it glues it together. And then you push it together, push the seam so that there's no seam showing, no line. And that's how you're going to put the salt dough on your animal. So again, you just get a chunk, smash it flat in between your hands, and you got to smash pretty hard to get it flat enough. About as thick as a skinny pancake. And then wrap it around the armature. Make sure that it touches. I've got a little bit too much there, so I can just tear that off. And then gently push it together so that no line is showing, no seams are showing. So see right there, there's a line that's called a seam. And I'm just gently pushing that together and pushing it down so that there's no seam. A little bit extra there can just get torn off. And you can use the extras. You just roll it back up and smash it back together. You can also push it flat on the table too. If it's easier to do that. And see right here, I need a little bit of extra. So I put a little extra right there. I've got a whole lot of extra there that I don't need. Remember, you are squishing this onto the armature. So you want to be able to feel that armature underneath your dough. Another thing you can do is you can just get a marker, and you can use your marker as a roller and just roll that out. The only thing is not to make it too skinny if you use the marker to roll it. Roll all those scraps back up into a ball. Now it's going to start to get heavy, and it might start to fall apart a little bit at the seams. So just put it back together and try to support it with your whole hand if you can. or to lay it on the table when you flip it over. Especially underneath, make sure you get all those little areas pushed together and all that aluminum foil covered. This is going to be the trickiest part. See here, I'm just going back and squishing together what needs to get squished together. The last little bit here is the tail. Oh, see, I made that way too skinny. Very carefully, I'm going to flip it over to check the back of the tail here. And then just when you set it out to dry, you set it as it's going to stand. So if I want my head up, I need to have my head up like this. If I want my head down, then I put my head down. Then just try to pat it out so there aren't too many fingerprints on it. And I'm going to add a couple of ears at this point. Also, if you want to poke a few little eye holes and add some eyes, you can do that too. I'm also going to poke in some nostrils. There we go. Alright, and then it's going to take about a week for my horse to dry, but my horse will be ready to paint next week. Your hands are going to get very dry from all of the salt in the dough, so when you're done, go ahead and wash them with soap and warm water to get all of that dough off of your hands, and then you'll be fine.